Oh man, coming through here reminded me, and I don't know why, but it reminded me of a very funny story that happened to me several years ago. But it paints a picture of John's life. This is the kind of shit I get into on a regular basis, and I don't know why. So let me give you a little backstory. We had a friend of a friend who was a babysitter, daycare. Yeah, she had a daycare, in-home daycare center. And those with kids will recognize part of this story, but for those without kids, in my area, that's kind of a Charlie Foxtrot. You gotta pick somebody at random, and you don't always have a choice because sometimes they're all full, or you have to go to a center and it costs a lot of money. The in-home daycares tend to be a lot cheaper, but at the same time, you're trusting your kid with this person that you don't really know. And we had gone and done a couple of interviews and stuff, but we decided on this one lady. Well, our eldest had been there a few months, and it came upon time for inauguration. So it was inauguration of 2017. And now daycare contracts are very specific. You get so many holidays, so many PTO days, yada yada. So here we are, it's inauguration day coming up, and this lady announces to me that she is taking off inauguration. It is a federal holiday. And I said, wait a minute, hold on a second. That's not listed out in your contract where you listed all the holidays. Okay? Now, this story has a happy ending, so stick along with me. That's the background. So back and forth we go in her living room while I'm picking up my eldest, who is a few months old at this point, and it is the first week of January, first week of a new year. So this lady decides that she's taking the day off, and she's not listing it as PTO or paid time off. She's listing it as a federal holiday, so it doesn't come out of that bucket. I have a problem with this because her buckets are clearly defined. So I go home and I tell my wife, and she sends a text to the lady. And mind you, I can be a little bit rough around the edges. That's fine. It is what it is. But this lady responds with, okay, you need to find somebody else to watch your kid. You're in violation of my contract or something. So about 3 days later, we have found a new person to watch our child in short notice and all that, interviews and everything in the evening. And this lady slips into the diaper bag a letter. It says, you owe me the following. And it was PTO for the year and this and that and the other thing. Grand total was like $1,400. And I was like, there's no way I'm paying this lady $1,400 for a she hasn't earned. It's just not happening. Apologize for the foul language. Hopefully I remember to bleep it all out. So my wife is apoplectic. She is just beside herself. What are we gonna do? I said, we already found somebody new. We have to keep taking him until the new lady can take him next week. So that means finishing out our 2 weeks with this lady. 1 week of which has already passed. We're getting in the short rows. So that was Wednesday. Friday, we slip a letter in that says, here's a check for $36. We calculated what you earned this year. This is what we think you're entitled to. We found other arrangements. Have a nice day. So we're sort of trying to split amicably, right? This lady's having none of it. 20 minutes after my wife drops off our eldest kid on that Friday morning, the last day, which I think was January 13th, we get a text. The text says, come pick up your kid for non-payment. Well, this daycare provider had it listed in her contract very specifically that you had to pay 2 weeks in advance. Okay, fine. We're not using you. Had you seen the letter, you would have realized we're not using you. We've already paid you for today. So watch our kid today, and that'll be the end of it. We can wipe our hands of it and be done. So we go over. My wife says, please come with me. So I drive over there to pick up the kid from daycare. We're just going to take the day off and hang out with him. That's what we're going to do. Oh, that's not good enough. We go in, and I said, well, here's your letter. And I gave her the letter with the check, handed it right to her. It was in the diaper bag. I found it. I reach over, I hand it to her. Job done. Walk out of the house with the kid, and we get back to the truck. So that check apparently wasn't enough for her. She comes flying out of the front of her house, waving it in the air, yelling at me, and then on top of that, she's running and screaming and cursing, and she comes over and kicks my truck. She kicked the tire on my truck. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you, lady? So here I am. I'm like, get away from my family. We hop in the truck and we speed away. This is not cool. I am not happy. And her parting words were, I'll see you in court. So this drives my wife nuts. She is, again, beside herself, worrisome. Like, what is going to happen? So I said, don't worry about anything till we get paperwork. About a month later, we get a letter in the mail from the court saying, you're being sued in small claims court. And it's for the $1,400. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me, lady. So my wife says, what do we do? And I said, how much does it cost to countersue? She says, $40. I said, that's worth it. And we get to about $1,400, and I say, submit. So we submit that, and we countersue this lady. So at this point, we take all our notes and we compile a folder with all the facts and dates and everything else, and kind of go over it, make sure we got everything clear, right? Right. So we got all that. And then 2 months later, our court date comes up, and we show up to court, and this lady shows up in an outfit. That's all I'm gonna say. In an outfit. And we show up and we're dressed up nicely and all that. It's court. Gotta go looking good for court. And we get up there, the judge explains what's going on, yada yada. She gets to talk first because she's the complainant. That's okay. And we very intently listen, and I'm just shaking my head like, look at all the lies this lady's coming up with. And the judge asks if there's any other witnesses to what happened, and she brings up a character witness. And the judge looks at this guy and says, I don't need character witnesses, I need people that actually saw this. Sit down or leave, either one. Basically kicking him out of his courtroom, right? So then it's our turn to talk, and this lady keeps interrupting my wife, and that just drives the judge bonkers. He's like, lady, they gave you the courtesy to listen to your side. You owe them the same respect. So we did. We said our piece, and then at the end of it, the judge says, okay, I've heard enough to make a ruling on this matter. Whoa, hello. Hey, watch it. So the judge says, I know, I've got enough to make a ruling on this matter. And he starts out with her side. He goes, lady, I probably didn't say lady, he said, ma'am, I'm throwing out this, and this. These are all stuff you're not entitled to. You're not entitled to the PTO and the vacation and all the other stuff. You're not entitled to that. So I'm throwing your entire claim out. Then he turns to us and he says, on the merits of your counterclaim, this and this and this are not applicable here. You don't have any recourse for that. I'm throwing your whole thing out. However, because the daycare provider refused to watch your child on a day you had already paid for, she owes you the money for that day. Court is adjourned. I about fell out of my chair laughing when the judge said that. I was like, who in the world has been sued, countersued, and won in small claims court like that? Who's ever been sued and got money out of it? It boggles my mind to this day that it happened. So the lady turns to the judge and says, Your Honor, can I write them a check and be done with this today? And he says, I don't care, I've made my ruling, we're done. Okay, so she hands me a check, and then I look it over, I go, okay, yep, that's all, it's all there, cool. So then I turn to the court and I go, Your Honor, would the court like a photocopy or like to photocopy this check as proof that the daycare lady paid me the money that you ruled she owed me? And the judge says, what in the hell are you doing? That's not a left turn lane, buddy. So I got a chuckle, and the judge says, I don't need a copy of that. I've made my ruling. Have a nice day. I said, have a nice weekend, Your Honor. and I laughed. So my wife and I drive home, hop on our bikes, and we rode to Red Robin for lunch. It was great. We paid for lunch out of the check that she gave us. So that's my story. Thank you for checking out the video. If you got a chuckle out of it, let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button and all that stuff Mike Italy 7 doesn't like. You know what? If you have a story like that, share it in the comments below, or make your own video if you have a YouTube channel. I'd love to see it and hear it. So until next time, be nice to your neighbors, have a good day, and laugh as much as you can, and check out the playlist and video here, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Yeah, I'm not riding here or nothing. Sure, go ahead. See you later.